question is, what do you want? A lot of us live life at what it is what you want. And like I tell my young brothers all the time when I'm talking, man, is that your age bracket, when you at the end of your teenage years, 18, 19 years old, just when you first starting to get into college, and right towards the end of your 20s, beginning of your 30s, 27 to 30, 31, 32. That is pivotal years in your life as to determine how the end points of your life. See, you don't want to be my age, 42, pushing 43, still with the same mindset and the same veneer as if you were between the ages of 18 and 30. You know what I'm saying? Something should be different about you. You should move differently. You should have a different vibe come off you when you step into a room. Because when a man carries himself with a certain level of dignity, for civilized people, that shit, it translates. And that's the key word, civilized people. Because, man, I'm telling you, a person being civilized in the way that I mean it is just somebody being able to operate and which will be deemed a normal way of thinking. And you gotta ask yourself, brothers, is putting myself in a situation around somebody who don't think normally, is that a good move for me in this day and age? And I tell you no, man. Because a lot of dudes, life gets sidetracked by the people in which they keep in their company. The old school used to tell us, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And that was some real shit, because the people who you surround yourself with, the people who have influence over the decisions that you make in your life, is critical to your outcome. Now, I'm gonna put y'all on to something, man. And it's something that I learned. There's two different kinds of decisions. Everything boils down into basically two types of decisions. Decisions fall into two different subsets. One is the most important subset, which is life extending decisions. And two, which is equally important, but the inverse, life extinguishing decisions. And if you can get to a point in your life where you can make more life extending decisions than life extinguishing decisions, then you'll see a different outcome in your life. Because for my young brothers, I'm gonna give you a scenario. When I was younger, I knew this little dude, I'm not gonna say his name, from New Orleans. We was real tight, man. He was about maybe 3 or 4 years younger than me. We used to play basketball, we used to hang out and shit. And my dude grew up in a single parent household. He was the oldest brother of like 4 or 5 kids. And he used to, do little hustles to try to get money from mama, because his mama didn't really have money to give to him. And I just used to talk to him. He's like, say, bro, I understand. I know that this time frame right here at this time is hard, man. It's hard for you to really function because you don't have paper like that. But just endure, man. And I'm telling you, it's gonna pay off, because I'm going through a similar thing, but just endure. And the homie, he tried. I gotta give it to him. He gave a very, very good effort. But time began to wear on him. And he began to make associations with other people who wasn't the ball players no more. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to hang with the dudes who had the hot shit without putting in the hard work. And it influenced him. And slowly but surely, I saw his life change. And it was one day we was outside shooting ball. I'll never forget it. And I seen a little homie come running through, and right behind him, he had like 4 or 5 police officers on his back, like running. Blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, they get him on the side of the house, clink, clink, clack him up. That's the last time I ever seen that dude, man. So I don't really know exactly what he did, but what I know, he did enough not to come home before Katrina hit. So I don't know what happened to him. And I say that to say that, this guy made some decisions, and he did get a little paper real quick, but at the end of the day, that paper that he had was short-sighted money. And it wasn't anything that could have given him any form of generational wealth or even wealth within his own lifespan. And so many of our brothers, due to us being surrounded by poverty and not understanding what wealth looks like, we tend to give our lives up and give our livelihoods up and give our most productive years up in pursuit of menial gains. So I ask my brothers out here, man, let's make better decisions. Let's put our focus on making life extending decisions instead of life extinguishing decisions, because I want to talk on the life extinguishing decisions. When you are a man, boy, girl, or woman, and you continually make life extinguishing decisions, it's almost like that movie In Time. I don't know if you ever seen it, but it's a good little sci-fi flick. It got Justin Timberlake in it, and it shows where people use time as a currency. And whenever you would purchase something, you would see the time on your arm tick down. And when that time hits 0, that's the end for you. So what I'm telling you, real life is kind of like that. Is when you make life extinguishing decisions, that's what you're doing. You're draining your time as if it was in that movie, as if it's a clock on a rundown, on a tick down on your arm. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to decide, is this worth my life? And if not, you're going to have to make some decisions that's going to extend your life. You know, being a young dude, living in the hood, making the wrong kind of friends, that could be a life extinguishing decisions. Living in the hood, making the wrong kind of friends, again, it could be a life extending decision. It all depends on the circumstance. Because for me, that was a life extending decision. You know, the older dudes that was in the hood, man, they was like, nah, B, you smart, bro. You're not about to be out here. And if we catch you out here, it's over for you. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So, continuing with life extending decisions and life extinguishing decisions, we must move in a way to whereas the decisions that we make can make or break and really determine the outlook of our life. Now, I'm not gonna dwell too much into this one part, because we're gonna pick this up again. This part 1 dealing with life extending and life extinguishing decisions. We're gonna make this a series so that I'm gonna show y'all examples of people who made life extending decisions and people who made life extinguishing decisions. So this your man Prophetic. I'm here for you. We're gonna ride together. Don't you never forget it. Peace.